Welcome to the Metal Bob Live Podcast. I am your host, Metal Bob. Today's show is brought to you by Legend Picks, artist Jeremiah Kalleck, and also the Texas Vinyl Coalition. You can find links to our sponsors and more at the Metal Bob Live website. There you can also find links to the latest Metal Bob gear, including shirts, hoodies, and more. On today's show, as part of the Metal Bob Live Podcast Superfan series, we had Superfan Scott Schmidt on the show. We sat down and talked all things metal and rock and roll, and a little more. So sit back, have a listen, and enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Bobby, how are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing, man? Appreciate you calling in today.
Not a problem.
Rough night or what, man? You rock and rolling last night?
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, well, why not?
I was family stuff. Taking my daughter to work, picking her up, taking her home to her mom's.
Right on, brother. So how's things going, man?
Good. How about you?
Oh, not too bad, man. Other than can't go to any damn concerts, that kind of sucks, but
That does suck.
it does suck bad. It's been too long, brother.
It's been way too long. I know the last show I was at was Sons of Apollo up in St. Charles.
And how long ago was that?
January 31st.
Wow, yeah. Well, hopefully things are on the up, man.
I sure hope so. I'm about tired of this crap as much as anybody.
So, yeah. So I wanted to have you on, man. So you're our first super fan we've had on. I got a little series called the Superfan series, and I wanted to start out. And I know that you're a huge metal fan, man. So,
yeah,
it's always good to have somebody like you on to kind of give us your input and,
thank you.
let everybody know, the kind of stuff you're listening to or what there is out there that some people may not know about to listen to. So what are some of the new things that are out there, some of the new bands that got your interest that you think people should check out?
Well, they're not, I won't say they're all new, but to me it's stuff that your average rock fan probably doesn't know about, like Heat, Eclipse, Grand Design. Oh, let's see, who else? Wicked Smile, of course.
Yeah, Wicked Smile smokes, man. They smoke.
They are phenomenal.
Yes.
A band called Raider just put an EP out that's really good. And I'm trying to think what else at the moment. There's just a lot of stuff out there. A lot of it's from overseas.
Right.
And most, you know as well as I do, most people over here have no idea about a lot of that stuff, and anymore, nor do they care.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, sometimes I feel like maybe it's just not, ready available. If something's not ready available for somebody, they don't seem to take the time to look for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly.
If it's not right there in your face, like all this other crap is, it's on the radio these days. You don't know it's out there unless you're somebody like us who's actually looking for it.
Exactly. So I'm trying to think if there's anything. There's a really good band out of Brazil called Exocet. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Okay.
A band out of Germany called Madhouse. It's really good.
Nice. So
there's another one that's got a really good, say more like a early Skid Row vibe to it. LA Guns style.
I'm all about the LA Guns, man.
So
who are some of your, we'll get back to the newer stuff, but and I wouldn't say new, I take that back, but some of the obscure stuff that people don't know is out there. But who are some of your influences growing up, that some of the bands that actually got you into listening to metal?
Oh, Sammy Hagar, number one. Not that he's really metal, but he was my first concert ever, and I was just mesmerized by it. It was a 3-hour show up in Rockford, Illinois, on the VOA tour, and he would be he's my biggest influence, favorite of all time. Obviously, Twisted Sister, Dokken, Dio, Black Sabbath, Scorpions, the ones you hear a lot of. As time went on, I was, got into, bands like Hardline, Unruly Child, Bangalore Choir, stuff like that.
Right on.
But, most of my stuff, I wouldn't say I don't. Metal, yes, to a point. Some, I'm all over the map.
Oh yeah, and me too, man.
And I think most of us are with it, get grouped into that category.
Right. I love my metal. I love my rock, man. I love singer-songwriter stuff. If it's good to me. I'm just kind of, I'll give everything.
Exactly.
I'll give everything its fair share of listening.
Precisely.
When I was younger, wasn't so much, oh, I don't want to listen to that. It's not Motley Crue. I don't want to hear it, But then I kind of regret that. I was a little late to the party on some of them bands because I was so stuck in one dimension. I missed out on a lot of stuff, but I'm catching up on it now, which, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of stuff I overlooked back then too, that you go back and listen to it and how did I miss that?
Right. Well, it's easy to do, man. You got your favorite, when you were younger, you got your favorite bands, and that's what you tended to listen to all the time, and it's like,
and that's and you kind of hit on the point with what people are programmed to listen to. You go back and think about those days back then, and your stations would always play the same songs. They didn't play any of the obscure tracks off there, and if a band only had an album out and they weren't getting a lot of MTV attention, they didn't really give it the time of day.
True. This is true. Yeah,
which is unfortunate because there is a lot of good stuff that got overlooked.
Oh man, there was a ton of great bands that never even didn't even have a chance.
Exactly.
I'll tell you a band I thought was super, super good that, I actually had the guy on my show a few weeks back, Terry Dunn from Banshee. I always thought that was one hell of a band. They just never seemed to, get over that hump, man. They got some really good stuff out now, and they're doing really well with the tours and all that stuff, but I always thought that they could have been a lot bigger than they were.
Yep, I completely agree. Race Against Time is a phenomenal album.
Oh, it's amazing. And I don't know if you've listened to any of their newer stuff like Mind Slave and The Madness. That stuff is smoking.
I've listened to some of it. I don't have any of it on. I know I don't have any of it on physical format, but I have listened to a little bit of it online, and that's one thing I won't do is I don't download any of my stuff. I will only, if I get stuff, I only get it on the physical copy.
Oh, I know. There's not a whole lot of you guys left that do that, man. But it's really cool that you still collect all the CDs and the albums and I was that way for a long time, man. And I ain't gonna lie, I've kind of gotten away from that. Not because I don't want. I just got tired of moving the shit all the time.
I don't blame you. I don't fault anybody for doing digital at all. That's their prerogative. I'm not here to, debate that completely, but. Everybody's got their own thing. I like the physical format. I'm stuck in that, mindset. But there's a lot of people I know that, they don't have the room for it, number one. And like you, they're going to pick up and move. They don't want to load up 15 or 20 totes full of CDs and lug them out to the moving van. They just want to take the computer or the phone or whatever they got their music on and go from there. And that's fine.
Right. And I did. That was really my big, that's what finally broke me. I was just like, I moved so many different times. I'm like, but I tell you, I miss having all that stuff, man. Just to be able to open it up and look at the liner notes and stuff, man. I miss that. I can buy the CD online, which I do. I'll buy the digital copy or whatever, but it's just not the same. It really isn't.
No. And that's one good thing about the physical for me is, you get into the liner notes and you'll see a band thank another artist or someone that you may not recognize, and you go check them out.
Right.
And that's another way to find, stumble upon some really good stuff that way.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna stop you for a second. I want to ask you. So I know you've seen a ton of shows like I have, but I want to know: is there any shows that really stick out that you would consider one of the best shows you'd ever seen?
Well, my favorite show of all time, for a lot of different reasons, was Van Halen on the OU 812 tour out in Cedar Rapids, Iowa on Halloween night that year.
All right.
That just, from beginning to end of that show was phenomenal. We happened to, like this story, our 5 of us, our parents wrote us college visit excuses to get out of school that day, even though they knew we had tickets. And we drove 2 hours out to Cedar Rapids and waited in line. We were front and center the whole night, and it was perfect.
Nice. Yeah, I got to finally see Sammy with Van Halen, but it was later on. I think it was actually after he had left and came back is when I kind of was for.
As a diehard Sammy fan, that was not a good tour.
It was. Well, I'll tell you, Eddie was definitely not at his best at that point. I don't know what was going on with him. You could definitely tell there was something going on, and I'm just like, of course Sammy sounded great, but then I was able to see Sammy a couple times solo, which really made up for it. So I got over it pretty quick.
As far as, I'll interject here real quick, the newer stuff, if anyone ever gets a chance to see Heat live, that band is phenomenal. Eric Gronwall is probably the best young frontman out there. He's got so much energy on stage, and the band always delivers. I've seen them twice at Melodic Rock Fest, and I'd love to see them again.
Are they on Frontiers?
No, they are not.
They are not on Frontiers. Okay. I know. There's quite a few of the bands that are kind of running to that label now, but I do know of Heat, and I've listened to them. They're a great band. I just don't know. I didn't know what the label was, but see, there you go. I don't have the physical copy, so I can't tell you.
Exactly. That's all right. Like going back to me, a band that has never gained any major attention in the States. They had a minor hit back in the day, I guess, on MTV. Was Pretty Maids.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys still churn out albums that are just completely solid from beginning to end. And I couldn't tell you one album of theirs I think that is bad. They're just quality, killer music that deserves more attention.
Right. And I always thought that of Pink Cream 69 too, man. I know a lot of people. There's like a select few of us. I know you know who they are. I mean,
oh yeah,
that band just kills, man. But they'll never play over here. And if they have, I mean, I don't know about it if they have, but
the closest they've come is the Monsters of Rock crew.
Okay.
I know people that have seen them on there, and that David Redmond that sings for him is one hell of a vocalist.
Oh God, he's great, man. I had him on, not on this podcast, but one that I was involved with few years back, man, and he was just such a cool guy, just such
nice.
And very, 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 very grateful for everything that he's had going on in his career too. He's just such a cool guy.
Well, that's fantastic.
But, so yeah, man. I mean, so nothing, no tickets for any big shows coming up, huh?
No, I haven't. There's stuff I'd like to see, but everybody's got their own take on this whole thing. I'm really not. I'll be honest, I'm really not in the mood to get in a big crowd of people at the moment, not knowing where everybody's been, what they're up to.
Oh, I know it. I know there has been a few shows here and there floating around, and there has been, I know there's some stuff coming here to Missouri. I'm quiet writing a bunch of different things, man. But I'm kind of with you right now. I'm just kind of gonna stand back and kind of watch and see what happens before I make that decision.
That's exactly my point, and I was talking about it with my wife last night. I said, I'd love to get out to a show, and she likes to go to the shows and stuff with me. And I said, I know Eric Martin's coming around here pretty soon, and I love his voice. I've met him a few times. Really nice guy, but if I've seen something already, do I really want to chance anything right now? That's flip of the coin there. To me, if it's something that I haven't seen before and something I really, really want to go see, I'd probably do it.
Yeah. I think, what did I see? He was at the Twisted Spoke. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming there pretty quick. Okay. Yeah, I think I seen Mr. Big when they played the Arcada.
Okay.
But that I did see Eric Martin. He also did an acoustic show, I think, at one of the deals that Justin used to put on down there in Peoria or Pekin.
Yep.
Yep. So
I was probably at the same one you were at.
Oh yeah, well I ran into you a few times, man. Actually,
I thought so.
I remember you being at one of the shows. I don't remember who we opened up for, but I don't know if it was Kip Winger or one of those. Oh, I played on a bill with somebody down there at Rascals, and I remember you coming up and introducing yourself to me.
Okay.
But
now it wouldn't have been if it was at Rascals. It was, I don't know. I've been there for Bisto Blanco. I was there for John Corabi.
It could have been John Corabi.
I'm trying to think who else I would have seen there. I've seen a few good shows there.
Yeah.
I miss going I love that place.
Well, I know you're good friends with Dave and Drew Mellon.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and I think you were with those guys that night, and I know both of them pretty well, and I know me and you've met. I know we don't know each other as well as you know those guys, but I have met you.
I thought so, and that's, like I said, I thought it was from a show at Rascals.
It might have been Black Star Riders.
No, I actually missed that one, unfortunately.
Did you miss that one? I don't know, but there's so many. But I know you were at one of them. We were playing, and I remember you coming up and talking to me after we got done, and just can't remember who the hell. It might have been Richie Kotzen. I don't remember.
It could have been. Now, that one it could have been. I was at the one show he did there, and, you know, those guys that own that are just top-notch, too. I wish like hell they could, you know, start back up and get something going again. Yeah,
I know. Kenny's a good friend of mine, man, and I know it's got to be, he's just got to be chomping at the bit to get them shows, man. He's always gotten some really good shows in that venue, and they're such good people.
Oh, wonderful people.
So yeah, man. So, what do you got on the agenda for the rest of your Sunday, brother?
Oh, a little, you know, the fun rock and roll stuff. Going to get groceries with the wife here in a little bit, and get some football in. And
you better believe that. Yeah, that's why I said when I originally told you noon, I'm thinking, man, we should probably do 11:30, man, because you know, football's going to be on
right.
At noon.
You know, it is kind of weird watching any of that stuff right now. Off the
it is
for a second without a crowd. It kind of sucks.
But. It is, man. But I'll tell you what. Once I get kind of into the game, and I almost kind of forget that they're even there sometimes, man. Because you know, if the games are good enough.
But exactly.
Who are you a fan of?
No, I'm a Bears fan.
You're a Bears fan. All right.
Yeah.
I'm a Dolphins fan, man. So no quarrel here, man.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, no quarrel.
I know a few other. I know a few other Fish fans out there. So
yeah. Hey, they won me some money on Thursday night. I was all about that shit.
That's good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, damn it, man. I tell you what, Scott, man, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this, man, and just kind of coming on and shooting the shit a little bit. And
no, not a problem, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll be
like I said, there's always, you know, there's so much good stuff out there. It's just like you said earlier, you know, people take the time to get into it, and you know, I know everybody gets busy and all that stuff, but nothing like putting on some good music to help you through a day.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, like I said, man, you know, you got on here and I had you naming a bunch of that stuff you're listening to. So hopefully, you know, even if just two people pick up on the little bit we talked about today, man, that, you know, that goes a long ways.
Exactly.
But man, it's been a pleasure, and you take care of yourself, buddy, and when I get this thing set up here next week, I will send you a direct link to it, man, and you can have a listen.
All right. Sounds good, my friend.
All right, Scott, you take care of yourself, brother.
Hey, you too, man.
All right, bye-bye. Bye. That concludes today's episode of the Metal Bob Live podcast. Please see our website for our sponsor links. Thank you for listening. Metal Bob